muy tropical, bailando la tangaraina, todito van a gozar. El ritmo la tangaraina nació en la selva de mi Perú. Si quieres gozar conmigo, chiquilla linda, ven a bailar la tangaraina, me va a picar. La tangaraina, ya me picó. La tangaraina.
Iquitos, Peru, the largest city on earth with no roads leading to it. Isolated except by boat or plane, medical help is paid before treatment and a rarity in itself. In most third world countries, there is no access to medical help. The case is the same here. However, hope is here. It all starts 3,581 miles away in the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Puerto Adventist Hospital and Global Health Initiatives have joined together to bring medical help and hope to the people of Peru. With a team of 18 volunteers, they journey across the globe to perform free surgeries and medical care to those who have none. Leading the team is Head of Human Relations at Porter Hospital, Oz Mueller.
I'm Oz Mueller. I'm the group leader, a trip leader this time, from Porter Hospital. I'm the HR director at Porter. This is my 8th trip to Peru, bringing medical mission groups down here. So obviously I get a different set of thrills from coming to the trip. Most of my responsibilities are making sure that the groups are getting to their destinations, getting their needs met. Basically a banker, water boy, pizza delivery boy, coin passer router so you can use the motocarros, all those types of things which, try to, in essence, make it work smoothly for everybody here. I'm here to take care of all that background noise so you can go downriver and do your stuff or do the surgical things and do it without having to worry about it. So that's really my responsibility. My takeaways, I always, I'm blessed by what the people do that come here. What the heart that you display, the heart that the group displays. That's where I get my thrill, seeing everybody transition. I was just talking to some of the physicians, and they were saying that this definitely cooked them. They see themselves doing this in the future, and that's where I get my fulfillment from seeing, okay, this really hit a spot that will get people to take different actions, different courses maybe in their life. That's fun for me, that's thrilling. Obviously it's thrilling for me to see the surgical teams and the surgical cases that they did where blind people now see. There's so much need and you can let it overwhelm you, but the takeaway is certainly if you let it stop you on your tracks because there's so much. Try telling that to the 60 people we gave sight to that these trips aren't worth it because there's still 1,000 others that we didn't get to. Same thing with you guys in the river. There's so many people that need so much. You could let it overwhelm you, but it's in keeping it in perspective and saying, hey, but we're doing what we can, and really from a mission and from a personal faith base, that's all I'm asked to do, is to make sure that I'm doing something with my life. So.
Once the team arrives in Iquitos, they prepare for the next day of surgeries and community health team events. They arrive at Clínica Anastal, an 85-year-old clinic that is partnered with the Adventist Mission. There are 2 teams within each mission trip, a community health team and a surgical team. Each trip has a surgical theme. This one is ophthalmology. 2 ophthalmologists have volunteered their time to perform cataract surgeries during the entire trip. There is also a community health team who will be providing medical care for villages along the Amazon River. The community health team sorts through medication and vitamins for the next day, while the surgical team gets right to work. Dr. Tim Ammons explains.
Okay, and your position on the trip?
I'm one of the ophthalmologists, so I was one of 2 surgeons on the trip on the eye team.
And have you been on a mission trip like this before?
No, I've been down here to Iquitos before, and this is my second time.
And what do you think you'll take away from this trip, or what was the most extreme case that you had?
You know, it's a different world out here, and certainly the medical problems are much more difficult to manage. Not only because the cases are more, so he needs the help, and so it's rewarding in that respect.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Shippey, and I worked in the operating room doing surgery, cataract surgery. And I think the biggest thing for me is my first trip is the perspective are here and the rewards that we get by coming in and volunteering our time and giving of ourselves unconditionally, with love and from the heart, and to be able to see the patient's faces afterwards, postoperatively, and the ones that haven't seen for a long time, being able to actually have fingers. It gives you the warmest feeling you'll ever have, and it really puts things in perspective for us in the States, that we have so much, and that just really think about that when we go home.
This site is the beginning, not the end. The next day, the community health team heads for the Amazon. The first village is Iquique, a small village with a large welcoming committee.
Eres como una mariposa, vuelas y te posas, vas de boca en boca, fácil y ligera de quien te provoca. Yo soy ratón de...
The team hikes to the clinic. Once it's set up, the line begins. Here, these people receive doctor care, medication, and gifts. Along include a large donation of Nike shoes, glasses, and toys for children. Hygiene products and education is also provided.
I have seen the
Hi, my name is Cynthia Hoffman. I am a nurse at Swedish Hospital, and this is my second time here, and I am here because I love seeing the smiles on the people's faces that we assist, and I love the people of the villages, and I just always have a great time.
I have seen the many faces of fear and of pain.
My name is Lisa Hasty. I'm a family medicine doctor, and I was one of the doctors on the community medicine team. So we spent the week going to all different villages and seeing all different types of communities and different types of patients, being able to help with disease prevention with medicine for parasites, and also giving vitamins is really helpful. This is my second big medical mission trip, and I spent some time in Haiti, and you can definitely see how much of a difference Global Health Initiative has been making here, because there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of education that's already been given here. And you could tell that all the families and all the kids especially just loved all the people that we were here with, and that made it all a big difference. Because you can tell they were excited and they were looking forward to our trip, which really made us feel like we were welcome and appreciated for our hard work.
And what was kind of the worst case you saw on the river?
So I think there's a couple of really sick kids that looked like they had really bad infections and had gotten really dehydrated. The worst one for me was I saw a young boy, he was about 4, who had a very swollen eye. It was different than the one that the other doctor saw. But it looked like he had a cellulitis in his eye, which can be very, very serious and cause blindness and bad problems, and he looked very sick. And that was the worst case that I saw. I was very concerned for him.
What will you take away from this trip?
I think it just, going on these trips really fills me up. And knowing that there are still people out there that really make a difference and that really appreciate when you take time out of your life and come down here. This is my calling in life. This is what I love to do. And I think everyone needs to find some way to refill your life and refill your faith in what you're doing. And coming down and spending a week just listening to people thank me and call me Doctorita, it makes me realize, yes, this is what I want to do with my life, and this is how I want to spend my time.
I have seen the many faces of fear and of pain. I haven't watched the tears fall plenty from heartache and strain. So if life's journey has you weary and afraid, there's rest in the shadow of His wings. I have walked through the valleys, the mountains and plains. I have held the hand of freedom that washes all my stains. If you feel the weight of many trials and burdens from this world, there's freedom in the shelter of the Lord. I have seen the healing hand of God reaching out and mending broken hearts. Taste and see the fullness of His peace, and hold on to what's being held out, the healing hand of God. Touch the scars upon His hands to see if they were real. He has walked the road before me. He knows just how I feel. When you feel that there's not anyone who understands your pain, just remember all of Jesus' suffering. 'Cause I have seen the healing hand of God reaching out and mending broken hearts. Taste and see the fullness of His peace, and hold on to what's being held out. Cast all your cares on Him, for He cares for you. He's near to the broken and confused.
The city of Berlin has 18,000 people. Often called the South American Venice, it is far from it. Most refer to it as the floating slums, a place where no one wants to be. It sits off the river Italia, a tributary of the Amazon River. We walk through the planks in the market and finally reach the water. This water is the same used for cooking and consumption, as well as refuse, travel, and laundry. Global Health Initiatives is also working with multiple villages to create clean water projects for the people of Peru. As the sun rises over the Amazon River, the team meets for one last reflection of the trip behind them and of the trip ahead.
Big ones for me was like the things that I really got in on, like when the kid was hit by the motor car and stuff like that. You know, it's just kind of a little slice out of the day that I'll never forget. You know, and you know, one of the biggest things that I think a lot of us are going to take home with us is friendships. You know, especially since most of us come from Colorado. We're all kind of talking about trying to stay in touch and, you know, not losing probably one of the biggest parts of the trip, and that's what you build the entire time, relationships.
That's awesome. What is my purpose in life? Any of you care to share what you think how this might impact this trip? Well, that's real personal.
I think for me, it's like, you know, you always think of my purpose. You think about yourself, you know? And with this, I mean, it kind of opened my eyes to where it's like, you know, your purpose affects everybody else. You know what I mean? Your life and what you do affects everybody else. And I think one of our big purposes is to help each other to get through this life, you know? I think that's what we were doing here, where it's like, you know, it's not just about our little bubble or just about my goals and my dreams or my purpose, you know. Every step along the way, you're affecting somebody else, and I think this trip really did that to a whole nother people that, you know, I wouldn't even know or meet or anything, you know, if I didn't come here. So.
As the team sails back to Iquitos, they say goodbye to the Amazon and its people, hoping to be back one day.
One, two, three, four. The rhythm in walking, it keeps me moving along. The rhyme in my mind, it keeps me singing this song. I'm gonna keep searching for my mother of pearl. I'm gonna leave footprints all over the world. I remember my childhood when I would just unwind with a run. I'd shoot barefoot to the pond, wave my wand and live in my own land of fun. I'd walk the woods with some homemade goods like nunchucks that I cut when I didn't know that I could. But I did, and I'm glad I had the moments I had when I was leaving little ninja footprints in the mud. The rhythm in walking, it keeps me moving along. The rhyme in my mind, it keeps me singing these songs.
What's going on now?
So apparently now we're getting in line for our food that is getting taken off of our plane to be given to us now, which means we'll be here forever.
All right, are we being fed or flown?
That's right, fed or flown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Our
gotta
demand.
happen. One of them.
Demand.